So we have all supermajority Democrat in California and a Democratic governor, and we're still we got homeless people living under every bridge. We still don't have health care. We still have student debt. We still have fracking. We still have all this shit. It doesn't matter. We're just like Texas. We might as well be. So that just goes to show you a supermajority Democratic legislature gets you right-wing policies, just so you know. And so right now, Glenn's saying that's going to happen again because now you're going to be able to blame the Democrats. They have complete control of government. And when you don't have something, it's their fault. And they're going to go, no, it's Joe Manchin. He's part of the Democrats, but he's so conservative. We can't get anything done because of him. They love having Joe Manchin. So now they don't have to fucking cross their donors. And they go, well, Joe Manchin. That's exactly. And what's going to happen is a more competent Trump is going to take over after this. And then we'll be told we just need to get rid of that person first, and then we can have actual change, and the cycle keeps continuing. So you see what I'm saying? We got to get rid of Trump first, and then we can do that. So they got rid of Trump now. They got complete control. They're going to completely abandon everybody like they have. We're going to get a worse Trump, and then they're going to say we got to get rid of that Trump again. We can't have a third party. We can't have a this. We can't push for blah, blah, blah. We got to get rid of that guy. Over and over and over. Here's what Marianne Williamson says. She says, tomorrow progressives will say, look at all the power we have and all the wonderful things we can do for people now. Then corporatist Dems will whine, yeah, but we didn't get a mandate. And there's another election in 2 years, so we better be really careful and go slow. Do not let them. She knows the game. With unified Democratic control of government, there should be no excuses for bad or inadequate policy. Don't let them spin some narrative that they can't get this or that done. They can get whatever they want done. If they don't, it's because at least some of them don't want to. And maybe if they're not pushing for votes on things, it's because they don't want you to realize that. If they're not pushing for votes on stuff, maybe it's because they don't want you to realize that they can get done whatever they want to get done. Now the Republican shields are down, but Mitch, and the only reason for Dems not taking rapid, massive action on climate would be their own choice. Push hard, for we are out of time, says Peter Kalmus. The filibuster can be abolished with 51 votes. If the Democrats choose to allow the Republicans to block legislative initiatives, then that is their fault. That is correct. This is a great clarifying moment. There's going to be more hashtag force the votes moment coming up. So the squad already showed you who they are. They're capitulators to power. Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman. Their first act was an act of cowardice and capitulation to the establishment. Nancy Pelosi, a war criminal. And there's going to be more moments coming up. So it's going to be very revealing. And I'm predicting the squad will continue to sell you out. Now, some other people don't think that's going to happen. Other people think that if we pressure them, they will do the right thing. We already did pressure them. And they wouldn't even come to a town hall with 100,000 people. They wouldn't even come to a town hall with Cornel West. We already did pressure them, and they gave us the finger. And anybody else telling you that they're naive or they just have... Ocasio-Cortez is a grown-up, smart person who knows exactly what she's doing, along with the rest of them. They are grown-up, smart, capable people, capable of winning a frickin' congressional race. They know what they're doing. They know it better than we do. So anybody telling you that they're naive and they're good people, they're just making bad decisions, that person is gaslighting you. That is not fucking true, and everybody knows that's not true. That's why Fraud Squad is trending. That's why Fraud Squad trended organically. I didn't push that. That wasn't me. I didn't make that up. And now, if they don't get rid of the filibuster, there's no point. Again, there is no point to the Democratic Party except to fake you out. and to take all the progressive energy and squash it. That's what the Democratic Party, that's what Bernie Sanders is there for, and that's what the Justice Democrats are there for. They're there to take all that revolutionary energy and squash it and kill it inside the Democratic Party. And that's what they're doing. I don't know if you noticed, the Justice Democrats are not fighting against the establishment Democrats. They're always fighting against Republicans. That's what they're doing. They're just Democrats. The Justice Democrats are a failed experiment. 100%. What Shama Sawant said is true. The road inside the Democratic Party for progressives leads to a graveyard. And we just witnessed it. So they got to get rid of the filibuster, which they won't, because if they get rid of it, that means they'll have to do stuff. And so with the filibuster, all they have to do is get a Republican to filibuster and say, oh, we can't help you. We can't get you a $2,000 check. We can't get you health care. We can't get you climate change legislation. We can't end a war. We can't blah, blah, blah. We can't help you. We can't solve your student debt. We can't do an infrastructure because there's a guy filibustering. Well, when I get rid of the filibuster, that would be rude. Breaking, Biden announces creation of a Department of Excuses, which aims to tirelessly fabricate reasons as to why Democrats are unable to pass any policy despite having control of both the House and the Senate. That's a great tweet. That is a great tweet. Loeffler and Perdue centered their campaign on fear-mongering and division. In the end, the message that won was, we'll bring you relief to your families. We'll bring relief to you and your families. If the Democrats fail to follow through, they lose the House in 2022. They're losing the House in 2022. You know, it's funny. When they campaigned on not being Medicare for all, the polls weren't really looking so good. Then they campaigned on actually helping people, and it worked out. Isn't it weird when you campaign on actually helping people and having government do things for people, people vote for you? When you campaign on Medicare for all will never come to pass, you don't win. Donald Trump ran on, I'm going to give everybody health care. He didn't. How about if you run on helping people and actually do it? Boy, I bet you could have a super Democratic majority forever. The only thing standing between us and Medicare for all is the Democrats now. Remember that. Remember that. The only thing standing between us and Medicare for all are the Democrats. And remember that when they try to convince you otherwise. Remember that. When somebody from the Justice Democrats, when Mark Pocan or when Ro Khanna or AOC or Ilhan Omar or Ayanna Pressley, they try to tell you that the Republicans are blocking Medicare for all, you tell them it's you. It's your party. And when are you going to call them out? It's your party. It's Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. It's your party that's blocking Medicare for all. It's the Democrats. Here, this is an unbelievable tweet. Alexandria Ocasio quote. What do you see? What's different about this tweet than her normal tweets? Hello, it's a new day. Who's ready to push? Ready to push for retroactive COVID relief and push for student loan cancellation, for climate justice, not a Green New Deal. Do you see how she switched from a Green New Deal to climate justice? So she went from Green New Deal to climate justice, gets better. Voting rights, ending the death penalty, health care. So she switches Green New Deal to climate justice and Medicare for all to health care. She's just naive. She doesn't know how it works. Except she knows exactly how it works. That is a sly fox. And somebody trying to tell you they're just an innocent pussycat is lying to you. She's a craven, conniving, scheming politician like fucking everyone. And if anybody tells you otherwise, say, now who's being naive, Kay? Now who's being naive, Kay? She's a conniving, calculating, cold politician who was willing to try to get our YouTube channel taken down, which is what she was doing when she accused us of violence. And every YouTuber should be calling her out for that. And shame on the ones who aren't. I really feel that way. And you see, anyway. So there it is. What policies do you most want to push for? How about Medicare for All, the thing you ran on? Oh, you changed it to health care. Why? Because she is a fraud.
I don't know, Jimmy. The line that says, who's ready to push? Do you see those emojis? It has diversity.
It has white people, black people, brown people.
It has diversity, Jimmy. She's on the right page.
Disgusting.
And that word push, interesting, not force.
Not force, push. Isn't it funny? And you don't feel like a cuck? You don't feel like a chump? If you are an AOC supporter, you don't feel like a chump? She just played you. Be candid with yourself. She's playing you. On purpose. That's calculated. That's conniving. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's not naive. She's not a child. Don't infantilize AOC. She's a grown-up, one of the most powerful people in the world, and she is fucking you. That is her fucking you. Healthcare? Wait a minute. We have Democrats control government, and you switch from Medicare to healthcare because she's selling you out. She's not your ally. She gives lip service to the same things that you like and then does nothing. There's a lot of people on the left who don't understand this. There's a lot of people on the left who totally understand this. And the people who don't grew up in cul-de-sacs and have no idea how to fight because they've never had to in their whole life. Never. Cenk Uygur grew up in a cul-de-sac. He went to private schools. He's been coddled his whole life. He never got hit by his fucking parents, I'll tell you that. He doesn't know how to fight fair. He knows how to fight ugly. Doesn't know how to fight because the moment came to fight, and he didn't. He bent the knee to his corporate donors, and he fucking abandoned you. That's what Cenk Uygur and TYT did. And everybody saw it. And he's protecting her. The Young Turks, TYT, are protecting her and the Justice Democrats. And everyone sees it. It's disgusting. Oh, we're supposed to treat them differently than we treat other politicians when they sell us out. Why? Because I know them. Because I know them personally. Because my ego is invested in the Justice Democrats. When she sells you out, you're supposed to call her out even louder. You're not supposed to be softer. You're supposed to be harder. You got it absolutely fucking backwards. Go back to your cul-de-sac. I'll show you how to fight. Jim Earl says to AOC, translation, 10 years ago today, after the Democrats used their supermajority to pass the ACA, which is Obamacare, Blue Shield raised its premium 60%. Let's build on that. Let me know when you are ready to fight for Medicare for all, not push for health care. $2,000 recurring checks until the pandemic is over. That's what Ilhan Omar tweeted out on January 2nd. That's great, Ilhan. Why don't you try telling your other colleagues and stop telling Twitter? Because all y'all know how to do is tweet. That's all they know how to do. The Justice Democrats don't do shit. They're a brand, and they're into their own celebrity, and I don't care that they don't take corporate money. They're selling you out for their own celebrity and their own comfort and position. And they did it right in fucking your face. So that's a regular person who retweets Ilhan Omar's bullshit fucking virtue signaling and says all y'all do is tweet. 215,000 likes. That's not a blue check. That's just a regular person. Do you see? The only people who don't think this are Cenk Uygur, the founder of the Justice Democrats. The only people who don't feel like this about the Justice Democrats who just sold you out in the most blatant way possible would be Cenk Uygur, I think.